Hi, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. It's Miss Kellie Michele. I'm back to you today with a story time. Yes. So, this story time is going to be about my experience when a guest broke my rules in one of my short term rentals. So, this really is going to be a old story, and you're going to see an older video after this. But I wanted to share my experience with you guys. I know some of you are trying to decide if you want to get into short term rentals or if you want to do more midterm rentals or corporate rentals. This is not to discourage you. So I just want to make sure you're aware, but I do want to give you the real. Okay. I've had some great guests in the past when I did vacation rentals. And then I had just a few guests that weren't that great. But the majority of them were really good guests. Okay. So check out my story time about a guest that really broke like a lot of rules. All right, stay tuned. One day, I arrived at this property, and when I pulled up, I hear some loud singing and what's just racket. And I'm like, what is happening? What is going on? Who is that singing? Walk in the house is a mess. As you can see here, this is the outside. The inside looked just pretty much like this, or a little bit worse. Cups, beer cans, alcohol, bottles everywhere. Nothing cleaned at all. Another rule we have is clean up your mess. At least put everything in a trash bag and sit it by the dumpster. So that's it. Like don't leave the house a mess. So I walk in. The guests are still there. Some of the guests, I don't think all, but some. There are two guests that are drunk with two females. So it was two guys that were guests, two females that were not guests. Drunk and possibly high in the hot tub, singing, partying, whatever. It is past time for them to check out. I'm with them, the cleaners. The cleaners are like, okay, what do we need to do? We have another set of guests checking in the same day. So if you know anything about this, whenever you have a short-term rental, you usually have a checkout time and a check-in time, just like a hotel. Between your checkout time and your check-in time, you have to clean. This was a large property, so it took at least 2 to 3 hours to clean it. And if it's a mess, it takes some time with multiple people cleaning. So I go in the backyard. Hey, you guys got to go. The guys are like, no, they're steady singing like they don't hear me. Well, their friends are inside. They're sober. I look at them like, I need you to get him out the hot tub and I need you guys to clean up this mess. Here's some trash bags. So they were trying to sneak out and go to the airport, but I stopped them, handed the trash bags so they can start cleaning up the inside of the house and taking the trash out to the garbage. So it was a while. Basically, the guys stated they wouldn't get out the hot tub. The friends were having a hard time getting them out. The friends eventually got frustrated. And they were like, all right, we got to go. They had to catch their flight. They're gone. These guys are still there. The girls are still there. One girl comes in. She only has on a t-shirt and panties. I'm telling her, I need you to get dressed and leave. She's steady walking around the house. The cleaners are in the back in the rooms cleaning up and changing the linens. I'm steady talking to the guys, and our handyman was there as well because there were some things that needed to be repaired before the next guest came in. I am talking, and the cleaner comes up, and she didn't speak English that well or much English, but she's trying to tell me what just happened. Well, one of the girls jumps out the window. She pushes the screen out the window, jumps out. Okay, it's a one-story house, so it's not like it was a far jump or anything like that. The ground, she wouldn't have been hurt. I'm like, what? Okay, whatever. I can't deal with that right now. I got to deal with getting them out of the house. Well, I'm thinking the girl jumped out the window and just got in her car and left. Like, I'm not focused on that. Well, I go to the front of the house or the side of the house to go do something. Can't remember what it was, but the police are out front and the ambulance. Now, this was a while later. Let's just say 20 minutes later. I'm like, what is going on? Well, apparently the girl jumped out the window and climbed over the wall into the neighbor's yard and was roaming around their backyard, and the neighbors called the police. So we have a woman here with a t-shirt and panties on, roaming around the neighbor's backyard, and she's inebriated. Not a good look. All right, so I'm talking to the police, like, these people are not supposed to be here, kind of trying to straighten things out, kind of get it situated. Meanwhile, the guys that were drunk, still inside the house, are now coming out, trying to get into their things into the car and leave. Well, guess what? They can't find their keys. All right, I can't deal with this. I got to get this house clean and ready for the next guest. Hey, so the guys, they come back and forth inside the house trying to figure out where their keys are. They can't find the keys in the house. Eventually, we have to close the door, lock it, so they cannot keep coming in and out because they're basically messing up areas that we've already cleaned, trying to look for keys. So they were super rude and to the handyman and just like totally obnoxious. Basically, they ended up finding their keys somewhere in their belongings outside. They leave. But here's the thing. There were so many rules broken that I was like, I can't let this go. Especially, so many things happen where it just shouldn't have happened. For one, you never want the police called. And you never want your neighbors disturbed because that affects your business. If the neighbors start complaining, they go to the city, then the city starts trying to make rules to shut down short-term rentals. Like, you don't want those problems, right? So that was one thing. Two, as you can see on this picture, they have glass outside. It was a pool and a hot tub out here. You can't have glass because if it breaks, as you can see, there's broken glass. People are walking around barefoot. They cut their feet. So there was just a lot. Not only did they leave a mess, they broke some of our items. So if you could look at these next pictures, these are like just decor. There were huge like goblet glasses or whatever. Huge. Well, they decided to pour champagne or alcohol in it and drink out of it. And one was totally broken. And it was in the previous picture. It was just laying in the grass. This one was partially broken. So had to look at that. These were the screens that the girl pushed out out of two different windows. So those had to be repaired. So this was one of the windows she pushed the screens out of. This was the other one. Luckily, the handyman was there to take care of it that day. But, this was damage to the screen that had to be kind of fixed before he can pop it back in place. So these are some things that could happen potentially, especially if you have a decent sized property. I don't normally, well, let's just say this. I haven't had this issue in my smaller properties. It's only usually the larger properties. Let's just say 3 bedrooms plus. When there's enough space, people feel like, yeah, we can party. This is enough space for a lot of people to get in here and we can have a house party. So those are things to be aware of. You could try all you want. Like, we tried as much as possible to prevent these types of things, but they do happen. Normally, if I would have found out that the party was going on at the moment, I would have had to go over there and shut it down and kick the guest out immediately, because we did have a policy where if you were having a party, you would have to leave immediately and your reservation would be done, canceled. And no refund. So that is what would normally happen. But again, I wasn't aware. And some things you just aren't aware of or you can't prevent. It's just you have to react to it after the fact. But just a tidbit on one of the pitfalls of short-term rentals. Now, there are some great benefits, but this is one of the pitfalls. So I just wanted to share that story with you. Hopefully, if this has not happened to you, you can prevent it or kind of pay attention or be aware that this could happen. If it has happened to you, then, hey, I'm sure it was not a fun experience, especially if you had more damage or anything that was potentially costly or harmful to others. But hopefully it wouldn't happen to you again. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that story time. Remember to like and subscribe this video. If you want to see future videos from me and continue to follow my journey, I provide a lot of information about midterm rentals, corporate rentals. That is what I do at this point in time. Also, make sure you check the description down below because I'm always giving something down there. So there might be some freebies, there might be some more information about my online course. If you were interested in the group program, it's down there as well, or one-on-one consultations. All of those links are down below. So check out the description and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.